You don't even understand what is about to go down right now, and when I say that this is the
biggest video game purchase that I have ever made,
not only on this channel, but in my entire life. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, we have N64, we have Nintendo, we have Game Boy, we have DS, we have PlayStation 1, and we have PlayStation 2. I'm paying $1,000, ladies and gentlemen. $1,000, 4 digits. Roll the intro. I'll catch you very shortly. Whew. Well, thanks for meeting me. I got a work route I gotta go grab shortly.
Do you like buy big lots of games? And
collect, yeah. So, and I do pickup videos on YouTube and kind of do like collection videos. So
nice. You'll have to give me your.
Not a bad little space in here. Wow.
No, I love
Do you want shoes on, shoes off?
Shoes on is fine.
Okay, okay.
So I think you're mostly.
Yes.
All the Nintendo, all the PlayStation stuff.
Okay,
all
one of the
N64, all the Game Boy.
One of the things that was a little bit, and the plastic cases I'm 100% content with, that I was just a little nervous by, because I sent some photos to a buddy of mine, just because I guess he was saying that it looked like it was maybe like, yeah, because he was saying that this seal strip, or this tear strip, I guess we didn't get those in the US. So he was just a little bit nervous about that, if that was going to be like an authentic one. I'm still interested in everything you have, like I said, I'm just...
To be honest, when I got that a couple of years ago, it was at a garage sale.
Yeah.
And it's more than likely repack.
A repo or something? Or
yeah.
Because my fear, like I said, I actually like to collect the Pokemon games, and I just don't want something that's unauthentic, you know what I mean?
Right.
So...
The Wi-Fi thing is the right color, but...
it looks legit, except for I've never seen the seal strip before, and all this sparkle glitter on the case.
Yeah.
The back looks good, I've just never seen this sparkle before.
Right.
And that's a little bit of a red flag to me.
It's not on the back, but it is kind of on this part here.
Yeah.
And like a little bit on here. So it's kind of... Either they've really stepped up their game with the fakes.
That's what I'm a little nervous by, to be honest with you. Like I said, these cases are actually kind of cool though, even though they're not original. I actually like that though, how they're just, like, that's a really nice display piece. So.
Just protection piece.
Oops, yeah. I couldn't quite see all these in the photo, what was that? Okay. Yeah, I can send you the YouTube for sure, so. I just like to do collection videos and whatnot, so.
I don't think there'll be anything crazy going on in there.
No, that's totally fine. And then, okay. Now this sign's pretty cool though, I'm not even gonna lie.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, oops, sorry. Yeah, let me check out these other bad boys. Are these repo cases too, looks like?
You know, I'm not sure. We had Diamond and Pearl for years, but, you know, when you're kids, you don't keep cases.
Yeah. No,
So I'm not sure if that's a proper case or not.
Because a lot of the Game Boy cases, I know those came in boxes. So these are, like, the Game Boy stuff is definitely, like repo.
Yeah, all the cardboard.
Yeah, I'm still okay with that. These are pretty cool cases, regardless of it not even being cardboard, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, this was my childhood game right here.
Yeah.
This is what I had growing up, yeah. These plastic cases, though, I like the little lock, but is there like an efficient way to get it out? I just don't want to ruin the cart, because they seem to be pretty clamped up in it. Oh, there we go.
Just kind of pull her out.
Yeah. This looks a little bit better. That red, I just get so nervous because of how many Pokemon games get faked.
Oh god. Yeah.
This looks a little bit more authentic, though, just because it's very, like, there's some, you know, good wear and tear to it, and it looks a little bit more older. And that case is, yeah, I love these cases regardless of them not even being authentic.
And that company does a good job because they're not like super pixelated.
Yeah, was that the company that you got them from, the one that you sent me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, hang on a second here.
You need a head mount for the GoPro.
Yeah, trust me, I would love to get like a strap or something too. So, oh, hang on a second here. My buddy, he's like a really, really big Nintendo guy, and he just knows way more about this than I do sometimes. It's always a learning curve. Okay. Yeah, my buddy is saying that that's most likely a unauthentic one. I mean, if it was authentic and sealed, that would be super cool. Just the strip and the sparkles is just, like I said, I've never seen the Pokemon series really ever do that before.
Right.
No, so I'm just trying to get like a gauge of everything here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hang on. Okay. And then were these like some repo boxes too?
Repo boxes.
Yeah, these are still.
That cardboard just melts.
Yeah, the cardboard, you don't really get to see those all too often. So.
Somebody at some point stuck them stickers on top of them.
Is that what these are?
No, on the top.
Oh, yeah, people do that. That's actually super nice because that's like when they get displayed on the side, then you can kind of like see what title it is. Yeah,
on.
that's not too bad. Yeah.
We've even got the transfer pack for it.
Oh, the transfer pack towards it, yeah.
I was really surprised that all the controllers were still so tight. We were not easy on those bad boys back in the day.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Sorry, not trying to make a mess.
No.
Just trying to get a view of everything, because, like, I don't want to screw you, but I don't want to go home with a bunch of fake games or something, you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's my biggest concern, too. I've never seen this before.
Ain't that something weird?
Wait, does this attach to the PS2?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So is that actually... I've never seen this before. Granted, I'm still learning, too. So is this like a monitor, then, and you can just play it directly, like the game's on that monitor?
Yep, you power just the original PlayStation, and it powers the screen as well.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
We're great for car rides. And
what was this bad boy here? Oh, just a radio? Okay, I didn't know if it was something that was a part of the lot.
And it could be if you really want it.
Don't know much about radios, unfortunately. Now, PS2 is a little bit more my time. Like I said, a lot of this was a little bit older. I mean, I still had buddies and, you know, grew up playing with it and whatnot. It's just...
Right.
Ooh, that looks really nice.
We were usually really good. We had the fear of death with CDs put into us. And you look at them wrong and they'll break in half kind of thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea where he had gotten these, but PS4 Just Cause 3 and some Xbox games I'll throw in there too.
Oh, just a couple other ones. Oops.
Yeah, it's a PS4 and a couple of Xbox games.
Take a peek.
All the whatnot.
Never seen that bad boy before.
That is like an MMO, like a pre-World of Warcraft MMO.
Blue Force, that's a new one. Straight 2. Yeah. Sorry, you just got so much to look at.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Metal Gear Solid, Devil May Cry 3.
47 PlayStation 2 games, and then like 10 boxed PS1 games.
Yeah.
All kinds of crazy.
No, like I said, I'm surprised, you know, when I saw the listing on Marketplace that it was still available, just because it was up for like a couple hours, and usually game stuff goes pretty fast, you know, so.
Oh yeah. I've had a lot of people for each, because I had each console put up there separately, and yeah, I'd much rather sell them all at once, so I've got a lot of people on hold.
No,
Pending, no pending. I got an Excel spreadsheet with all the names and what order they're in.
That's pretty nice, actually, yeah. Yeah, let's check this bad boy, too. Okay. No, like I said, I don't want to eat up, you know, your entire day. I just got to go back to work, too, so I'm trying to do this as efficiently as I can.
That's all good.
Oh, a hand strap for this bad boy would be super nice. I'll deal with that in a minute.
Do you want me to hold that?
No, it's okay. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. No, the PS2 stuff is looking good. It's just, I get so nervous with the Pokemon games that's my, you know, biggest fear, honestly, with you. And I don't believe that Platinum is authentic. Everything else looks like it's checking out, though, which is super good. So Metal Gear.
Platinum was the first one I really dug into, just because it's sealed and it's like, oh, that could be a $300 game if it's the real one.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
What does that say? Pudding case. Did somebody must have colored the eyes on that bad boy. I was like, I do not remember
Oh my gosh.
the eyes being like that, to be honest with you.
I hate when people do that.
Okay. No, looking decent.
There's a couple of crummy, like, turd games in there.
Yeah.
So many, like, known names. God of War and Devil May Cry.
Oops, I'm not trying to. Okay, Battle Tank. Ooh, Yu-Gi-Oh's head.
There should be
Double stack.
2 PS1 Yu-Gi-Ohs in there.
Yes. Is this missing a disc by chance, or what is the, or is it the, no?
I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I've never seen that game, to be honest. Yeah, because usually these double discs have like it's like a 2 or 3 part, kind of like Final Fantasy games. They tend to have a chunk that might be
half.
missing. Yeah, it might be a halfer.
Used to whoop my butt at Ultimate Battle 22.
Yeah.
And you got the Budokai and all of those fighting games.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
I think the second one's in there too.
Devil Knight. Never seen this before. Star Wars Battlefront. Okay. I think that's the last little chunk here. Mortal Kombat. Another Mortal Kombat.
2 different Mortal Kombat stuff.
Yes.
Katamari was my favorite game.
I've seen it. I've never owned it or played it, so I'm actually kind of excited to try that bad boy out.
It's really chill.
Was it a Japan exclusive or something, or?
No, it eventually got a translation. Like,
Oh.
but it's just such a weird Japanese game.
Yes.
It's so.
Okay.
You went through all those, the Vice City and all that.
Oh, yes. No, the PS2 stuff looks really good to me. These Nintendo games over here look good too.
That console is so clean.
That's what I was gonna say. It honestly looks really clean.
Have you ever de-yellowed those?
No, but I've seen videos on YouTube of people that have done like restorations where they de-yellow them, and they're honestly super satisfying to watch.
I found the exact right stuff.
Yep.
It's
to de-yellow it? Yeah.
And you smear that on there, leave it in the sun, and you don't have to mix stuff, you don't have to add anything. It just works. I had a Commodore 64 that I thought was just brown.
Oh yeah, and then you use that to kind of de-whiten it a little bit.
Yeah, a lot, like all the way.
Okay. No, yeah, these look a lot better. Like I said, it's just, this looks good. This one almost just looked a little too clean, but I think it's good. It's just, and I'm saying like you probably took very good care of your stuff, which is like uncommon, so that's why it's like I'm just double checking. And do you have all the cords and things for these? Like, do they all work?
Both of these are for these. They're the same power brick.
Same power supply.
And yeah, this has batteries in it.
Okay. Let's see, I think that's pretty much it, except for this bad boy. This one's in there. Oh, and that's I forget the PS2 has the TV on it, and then
yeah, that's so weird. And the box.
This is the box for it. Okay, cool.
Probably worth more than the TV.
So my question, just because this was a pretty expensive game, and this was kind of one that I was really looking for, and honestly, with it being ungenuine, would you consider 9 the original offer that was given to you for it? Just because this is like about a $90 to $100 game if it was authentic. It's a pretty expensive title.
Gotcha.
That's why that was a little bit of a bummer. If it was authentic, that's where I would gladly, no questions, because everything else kind of looks like it checks out, to be honest with you.
Do the Xbox and the PS4 games
interest
you at all?
Not really. You don't even have to give me those if you wanted to go to the 9. You could try to list those on Marketplace and get a little bit more as well. Or even you could even keep the Platinum 2 and see if maybe somebody out there would want to take it. It's just, after talking to my buddy, like I said, I'm pretty confident it's...
I'd like to be done with the whole thing.
Yes.
It's been a couple of days of messing around.
Yeah. If I could just get Emerald open, however this case works.
Would you go halfway? 950?
I got...
Are you pretty set at 9?
Ideally... Here, do you know how to open these? Sorry, I don't mean to bug you there. Well, thank you. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'd do 9. That'd be fine. I know you gotta get moving, and the best offer so far has been 9, so...
Yeah, and like I said, I would have gladly shot more, and it's because I saw all the Pokemon titles, and I'm not trying to, go back onto the original offer that you got to begin with.
No, I totally understand.
This was just something I didn't see until I got here, you know what I mean? So, yeah. If you want to do that, I think I could do 9 and roll with it for everything. I know I gotta...
Sounds good.
Ooh. If you want to double check that, I can help you load up too.
Sure.
So.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goofy. So we just actually found this box up there. So no, this is super cool. So
it's got foam in it still.
If I gave you an extra 40, would you do it?
Sure, and I'll give you that PlayStation that's out in the garage, the PlayStation sign.
Cool. Oh, that would be... I'll smack that on the wall when I get home.
Yes.
No, thank you, man. You have definitely hooked me up there.
I'm glad you saw that.
No, I wasn't trying to, harass you for stuff that was up in your house. I looked up and I was like, well, if you're getting rid of all your video game stuff, I was like, you know, I was like, what do we got? You know, maybe work out a deal. So
yeah,
I'll do 40 for that. Yeah. Thank you. That's going right on the shelf when I get home. Alrighty.
Pokemon versions and stuff in one of the cases that look like a Game Boy.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. Go.
There we go.
Thank you. That is a full load. I like that.
And my garage is the second one here. Hardware and computer parts and stuff. You're like shaking.
Oh yeah, that's how I feel. Oh, that is a... Oh, you got a really nice old car in here too.
Yeah, it's my... I've had that fella 15 years. It's my camper. It was hanging in that shop since the mid-90s.
Oh, no, that is super cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's got nice little hangers on it too.
Exactly.
Well, if you find anything else, I know you got a lot to go through, but, you know, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to drive back down, so.
Right on. There was a PS1.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Sitting.
Not too big of a deal. We already got a pretty good lot today.
A lot of stuff.
Alrighty. I gotta get moving for work, though. I don't mean to cut it short, but as long as we're squared up, I appreciate it.
I figured if I saw it sitting here, but I don't.
Yeah.
Alright, that should do it.
Well, thank you for the business. Oops, don't want to trip.
Absolutely.
Alright, I gotta get to St. Paul now, so. Woo! Alright, I gotta go and finish up the rest of my day here before we go home and kind of do a breakdown of everything that we got, but we made it happen. $940 was the total. I put in the extra 40 bucks for that N64 box and then also the PlayStation 1 marquee. I talked him down the 100 because that platinum ended up being like a fake, unauthentic sealed. You could just tell it wasn't legit. It just looked off. It wasn't right. I don't even know if that's in here or not, or if he ended up taking it back. I'm gonna have to double check, but regardless, the end total was $960. Probably the biggest pickup here on the channel. It's crazy. I'll catch you back at the house and we're gonna break everything down right now. Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean, yeah. So before we get into the entire pickup, I just want to keep a couple things in mind. Number one, this video, in my opinion, has already gone long enough. I know you guys probably want to see everything in full detail. I do not want to eat up too much more of your time. Number two, I have kind of displayed some of the bigger, more profitable items on the table, or at least noteworthy. I still have like totes in the back and totes over here of games that are just not going to be able to fit into today's video. Maybe I can do another video of a little bit more of an in-detailed pickup, or at least of all the items that were in today's lot. But regardless, this is a lot of processing. It's going to take a lot of work, and I am going to keep some of these items, but keep in mind, ladies and gents, some of these items will be up for sale on my eBay store. That link will be down below in the description. There's just certain items that I don't want to keep, or at least I want to make some money back on this. Obviously, this was a pretty big purchase, so let me flip the camera around and kind of give you a little bit of a deep dive of everything that we currently have. Starting off in the back, we have to note this right away. This is definitely going into the collection. We have a complete in-box N64. It's actually in very good condition. The Nintendo, the cords, and the controller are inside right now. I wanted to put them in there just to make sure that it was complete. I just need to find some space for it in the house to display at the moment. I really don't have a proper collection room. Another noticeable one was this Resident Evil Trio. I think it's about $57 on price charting. There is Legend of Kay and Devil Knights in the back, or Devil Kings, I believe it is. Regardless, I thought that those were going to be a lot more expensive than they were. They're only about like $15 a pop. We do have Pokemon Stadium, Super Smash Bros, Super Mario. We do have Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Fire, the Doom games, Tetris, Yu-Gi-Oh, some Nintendo games in the back. These are all reproduction cases, so keep in mind, I will show you the price charting value. I entered in all of these on price charting as loose. I did not do complete. I did not say case and game. I entered these in as loose to get more of an authentic price, because technically I cannot factor these in. Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Fire Red or just Fire, or Red, I guess, a Red version. Jeez, wow. Do I having a brain fart there? those two are going into the collection along with Pokemon Stadium. Pretty much everything else you're seeing here, though, will be up for sale or grabs. And just kind of skimming over, like I said, there's just too much to go through. I just want you to kind of get an idea of what we got. Some of the solid PS1 titles is like Metal Gear. A couple other interesting ones up here like Blaster Master and Battle Tank. They're not too expensive, but they're noticeable. Got the Nintendo. We got the complete in box PS2 with the 7-inch LCD screen. Time Splitters probably will go into the collection. I gotta debate that, to be honest with you. 2 Yu-Gi-Oh games. Those will all be up for grabs. These are kind of some mid titles. Spider-Man, X-Men, Devil May Cry, God of War, Dragon Ball Z, another Devil May Cry. Ninja, which I personally thought was going to have a little bit more value. It doesn't. SSX Tricky, which this one kind of shocked me, is about a $20 game as well. Kirby's Adventure is another noticeable title. Pokemon Pearl, it's in a repo case, but the cart seems to be authentic. The only one that I've noticed so far that was fake was that Pokemon Platinum that you guys have already seen. Mortal Kombat Monks here. This one's actually a pretty expensive title as well. Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tekken. There's just a whole bunch going on. Obviously noticeable here is this PlayStation 1 marquee. It's an authentic one, actually. It's got the 2 little hanger tabs. And if you can kind of see over here, it has the branding on it. This, I don't think, is like authentic. I think somebody just printed that and made it regardless. Unfortunately, these 2 signs are staying in the collection. I do not want to part with these. But like I said, this complete in box PS2 Slim with the monitors going, the Nintendo's going, most of these heavy hitter games are going, and there's a lot of filler titles that I have down here in the tote, and there's way more in the back along with a lot of like N64 controllers, PS2 controllers, and everything else. So you kind of get the gist of that. But just once again, I'm gonna hold it with 2 hands now just to make sure it's steady. Just kind of admire this collection that we got, and I will bring it over to price charting here in a hot second so you guys can kind of see the expected return here. Granted, obviously fees are going to be a part of this, and I've now just started charging shipping on my eBay store. That's just something that I've had to do, especially with big buys like this, to make sure that I get the margins that I'm looking for. But regardless, this is kind of the overview. Let's flip it over to price charting, and I will show you exactly what we have going on, and that'll pretty much wrap up today's gigantic pickup, probably the biggest one on the channel so far. So currently over on price charting, I have only entered in 90 games, and that other one to make up the 91 is the complete in box Nintendo. We have a value here of $1,750. That still doesn't include the Nintendo console, the complete in box PS2, all of the loose like games that were about $10 and under on top of it with all the accessories and cords. Like I said, I got about 3 or 4 N64 controllers, and those I know are like, you know, about 20-25 bucks a pop. So my expected profit, and I know this isn't the full profit, but I should say gross here, is about $2,000 off of a $940 purchase, if that kind of gives you an idea of everything that we are looking at. And you guys have seen that lot prior. Like I said, I think this was a pretty good buy, especially going in blindly and not being able to price everything out and kind of, you know, getting an idea beforehand and doing it on the spot, because everything just happened in the moment. I'm perfectly content with it. I should be able to turn a decent profit on top of fees and everything else, and still be able to add some nice gems to the collection as well. So that's kind of a win-win for me.